Hi, I'm Kat, and today I am going to be doing microdermabrasion on my own face at home. Yikes. I've never done this before. I think I've done microdermabrasion once. I got a facial at a med spa, and that was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And I really liked the results of it, but it was something I did with a Groupon and not something I was willing to commit to on a regular basis. So I was gifted the Pro PMD from PMD Beauty, and I am going to be trying this sucker out on my face. Wish me luck. It came with all these little tips, and I guess I'll try out the one that feels least gritty to begin with. And it looks like each one of these comes with a wide attachment and a skinny attachment with the same grit. There are also 2 different sized cones for this, and I think I'm going to use the wider one. I'll put the cover back on. It doesn't look like I can do too much damage to my face with this because this lip comes up much higher than the actual spinny bit. So I'm gonna plug it in. Let's try this out. So I'm not supposed to go over any one area more than once in this treatment, and I'm supposed to keep it constantly moving. I don't know what just happened. So I'm supposed to keep this constantly moving, pull the skin taut. Should it suction like that? All right, there's a learning curve. It doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't feel okay either. It's a little bit difficult to keep it on my skin without it's suctioning too hard, if that makes sense. It looks worse than it feels. I'm getting this area next to the eye, but I'm not going to go underneath my eye or on my eyelid because these areas are, in my opinion, too delicate. I'm also avoiding the areas where I have any kind of breakouts, so I didn't get right in between here where I have some pimples healing up, and I don't want to get right in here under my nose. There are areas that I do want to get on my nose that I can't reach with this larger one. Ew. So when you pull this off, you can see like all your dead skin flakes and stuff that are in there. And I'm putting the skinnier one on, and now I'm gonna go into this area. All this dead skin builds up in that little attachment. Gnarly. So I'm using, just spray that straight into the lens. Alright, so first thing I noticed before I even do anything else, everything feels really smooth. The first areas that I did, the very first ones where I was getting the feel for the suction, were up here and right here, and I definitely scraped myself a little there, so I'm hoping that that doesn't scab up tomorrow or do anything gross, but not bad for a first attempt. I'm just using a little bit of aloe rose water toner, and I'm going to gently clean off the skin. Generally, I don't like to do anything to my skin that requires tugging on it too much or anything that's quite this rough, so the whole process feels very strange. But that being said, I have had it done before by a professional, and I really liked the results. It's just a little nerve-wracking when you're doing it at home. Next, I'm using Saturday Skin Wide Awake Brightening Eye Cream. I don't know what happened to the cap of this one, but I really like this. Oh, and some of the products in this video were sent to me complimentary. However, I am not being paid to promote anything to you. I will only ever show you products that I actually like and use, or at least I'm experimenting with. Then I'm using my Saturday Skin Waterfall Glacier Water Cream. And this is a really nice moisturizing gel cream, which I adore. And press it in. It does sting a little, but not as much as I thought it would. And it only stings in the areas where I kind of got myself when I was first getting started. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. I will be back tomorrow to see how this does on my skin. I did a little bit on my chest just to see how it did with that skin. And already I'm seeing some burst blood vessels that I really don't care for, but I tend to get those very easily. So I want to give those 24 hours to settle and see how it turns out. And I'll be back. I'm back. It's been exactly 24 hours and my skin feels baby smooth. It is so smooth. And honestly, thinking back on the time when I did this professionally and actually went into a med spa to have it done, they definitely burst a lot more blood vessels on my face doing that than this. I think the only place I burst any blood vessels was like one little spot on my chest. And I was kind of going on that skin a little more aggressively because it's not as sensitive. But I am so impressed with this device. I'm really happy with the results. I'm not sure that I would do this once a week. I think it's a little bit much for my skin, and of course everyone's skin reacts differently to things. I usually only exfoliate twice a week, so I think that would be a little bit much for me, but once a month or every 2 weeks might be something that I would be interested in doing. And you should all let me know if you want to see a follow-up video on this. If I see any noticeable long-term differences, I would definitely be open to showing you. And I have a little bit of irritation right here, and I guess that's a zit that I'm getting. But the rest of it looks pretty good. My skin feels so incredibly smooth, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. A little bit of redness right here, and my forehead, I think the center area and right above my eyebrows where I was focusing on this, because I have a lot of sunspots here and here, and this is the area where I have the most visible skin damage. I thought it would be a lot more sensitive than it is, but I don't think I got it as well as I would have liked to, especially up here where I have most of my sun damage. And I'm gonna do my makeup and then wait for my hair to dry, and when I'm back I'll show you what I think about how the makeup sits on my skin versus before I did this. I'm back with makeup, and overall the only spot that I really had any issue applying my makeup is right here in this crease where it's a little bit raw and still a little flaky, and I don't want to mess with it. So overall I am very impressed with this little device. I will be using it again. It's very straightforward and easy to use. I watched their instructional video on their website before I used it on my face, and everything was pretty easy to remember. It just takes a couple passes to sort of get the feel for it, and it's definitely something I'm going to be doing again. I will probably try this again in 1 month, and then depending how my skin reacts to that, I might do every 2 weeks, or I might stay at 1 month. But I definitely want to see what the cumulative results are. I do want to try and focus a little bit more on my forehead where I'm starting to get some fine lines, and right around this area of my face where I tend to have the most sun damage. And the rest of it, I mean, I might even just do those areas on a regular basis and do the rest of it less frequently. But I definitely want to see how my skin reacts to it, and I'm very impressed that this didn't seem to go any worse than when I had it professionally done. When I had it professionally done, they did kind of burn my skin a little. I think right here was the one spot they got me. And it was no worse than this, and getting it professionally done, I actually had more burst blood vessels. What I like about doing it at home myself is that I can feel exactly how much pressure I'm putting on my skin, and I kind of know where my skin's limit is and how gentle I want to be with it, which you're not always going to get from a technician. Hopefully an esthetician is really well trained if they're doing this on you. But overall, I'm impressed. It seems like something that you can do a lot of damage to your skin with if you do it improperly, but their instructional video is very straightforward, and overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. So that's all there is to this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a follow-up in a few months. I'm going to be doing this regularly, so hopefully I'll have some results. And thank you so much for watching.